Giant FM Morning Showtime now for the Fulton County Community Foundation program. And Brian Johnson joins us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Randy.
How are you?
I'm doing
How
all
was
right.
your walkover?
It was a little bit overcast, but dry.
Well, that's the key right there, dry.
I'm sure the farmers are probably pretty excited. I had a couple of trips down to Peru the last couple of days. Looked like I've seen a lot of stuff coming out of the fields.
It is. It's that time of year.
If we could have got this rain about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it would have been perfect. My garden would have loved it. But anyway, nice day in downtown.
I don't know. The tomatoes in my garden are really going like crazy all of a sudden.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently it must be perfect weather for them.
It is, and that's some good eating there.
It's crazy. So what's happening in the Community Foundation?
We got a few things going on at the Community Foundation. A reminder that I have been given the last few months, our newsletter. We always try and do something fun. We'll talk about a little bit about one of the projects that we featured in that newsletter later in the show, but always a great time to figure out what's going on. We have information about grants. We have information about when we start thinking about scholarships later this year again.
It's getting close.
For high school seniors, it's getting to be that time. Things like that happen in the newsletter. So nicf.org, and you can click on the link that says sign up for the newsletter. We'd love to have folks be a part of that. And it is the end of September almost.
So, might as well be.
And it feels like
it's the last Wednesday of September.
Wednesday of September. That means October comes up, and then November and December. So we're getting close to that last quarter of the year. One thing I always encourage folks is think about that end of year giving. Those tax implications. I know there's been a lot of conversation about tax law changes. There's some new opportunities for folks that may or may not itemize some new requirements. So now would be a great time to talk with your tax planning professional, whether that be an accountant, a financial advisor, thinking about some of those end of year gifts and how that can make an impact by helping reduce some tax burden, but also do some good things in the community or for the organizations that you care about. One of those ways that we often talk about, because it's really simple, is things like an IRA charitable rollover. Donors who have reached age requirements have to take that required minimum distribution whether they want it or not, and sometimes that can affect negatively taxes, and if they're charitable minded, they can use that to benefit some local causes that they're passionate about and make that gift to a local charity. So encourage folks to think about that, because now is the time to start planning, because it's going to be December before we know it here in Indiana. I think I saw the other day how many days until Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
I haven't started my Christmas shopping yet.
No,
so
I haven't even started the list yet. So.
Okay, well, we're in good company.
Yeah, yes.
Something else that we've been involved with recently is the creation of a local child care coalition. We've been partnering with the Fulton County Chamber of Commerce, Fulton County Economic Development Corporation, Caston and Rochester Schools, working on putting together a coalition. If you've talked with business owners or you've talked with families with young children, child care is an issue. I don't know how many times in the last couple of months I've heard somebody say, my child care provider doesn't have space, or I'm having trouble, and it's really, I'm not going to say the word crisis yet, but getting to that point where it's a difficult thing to find. So we've been working behind the scenes on a couple of things. One thing I will plug is a survey. We have a survey that we've been working with some of our employers. So maybe keep an eye out for that survey coming from one of the organizations that I mentioned. If you get that and could fill that out to give the group some feedback about some of the areas that would be effective for local organizations. If you're an employer and you're saying, hey, I have employees that aren't able to make it to work every day because they have childcare issues, or I have somebody that I'd like to hire but they can't find childcare. It's hard to think that that's a barrier to employment, but it is a pretty significant. It's one of those biggest issues in our community. So keep an eye out on that, and then we'll also be working to do some more public things here in the near future, putting together a coalition that's going to be working on helping address some of these issues. So keep an eye out for that. Wanted to talk a little bit about some of the recent grants we've made. We've been able to participate in a few of these things. I know last month had a great time at the Nickel Plate Music and Art Festival.
It was a good time. Lots of people.
I'm looking at the courthouse lawn right now, and it was full, and there was some awesome food, there was awesome parade, there was awesome music.
Yeah. Great time.
A great day. I spent most of the day in downtown Rochester that day and had a really good time. So that's one of those things that when we think about some of the community enrichment activities that we're able to support, things like that where you have literally thousands of people in downtown Rochester, and I don't know how many people had that same comment. I had a great time, heard some good music. So that was one of the things that happened recently. Another one that just wrapped up, it's been really neat to see the last few years the Akron Lost Daughters Club have put together their Friday Night Live concert series over in downtown Akron. They just wrapped it up this last week. But they've been doing those once a month in the summertime, and right in downtown Akron. There was all kinds of good food, there was great music, but one of those things where you can stay right in downtown and enjoy some pretty cool activities. You don't have to go far, and this is really good music too.
Yeah.
If you were over there, you heard some really great performers and some folks, a few that are local, a few that are from outside the area, so a little bit of mix of everything, musical mix of styles, a really great opportunity for us to come together as a community and see some fun entertainment. And then this weekend, I hear a rumor there's something happening over in Kewanna.
That's what I hear. I hear something about some festival.
Yeah, the Kewanna Fall Festival. That's another one of those things that you have a small community that comes together, has some great activities. Starting on Thursday evening this year, have some musical acts. Friday, you have things like a carnival and rides and circuses and things like that. So
suppose they'll have a Jurassic Park petting zoo over there?
I don't know if they'll have a Jurassic Park petting zoo over there, but I think they'll probably have a circus.
They do have a circus.
A free circus. That's probably even better than a Jurassic Park petting zoo, just saying.
A free circus.
A free circus.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay for it.
Free circus.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of activities that I've been watching. You're going to see some very familiar band names performing over there.
Yes.
You're going to see a couple that are new, so that'll be fun.
Of course, the hometown parade, hometown hero parade on Saturday.
Yeah.
Teachers this year.
Teachers. It's pretty cool how we celebrate. You know, a lot of times we think about the folks in our community, and you see them, and they're just here.
Yeah.
You don't think about all that they do for the community. So teachers are one of those huge shout out. You think, what would happen if all the teachers in our community were no longer here? We'd be in trouble.
Yes, we would.
Just saying. So that's a recommendation from the spouse of an educator.
Yes.
So keep up the good work to all the educators out there. We appreciate you, and this is a way to celebrate that. So I'm looking forward to hanging out in downtown Kewanna this weekend, and seeing all those fun things. So those are just some examples. When we've talked about the last couple of years about our community funds that make grants in the community, these are some of the examples of some of those arts and culture things that we're able to support and really provide some entertainment. I know going back to the re-energizing of the Kewanna Fall Festival, one of the things that was really important for the Mate family, shout out to the Mate family, they're pretty awesome, has been to provide that entertainment for everybody in the community, regardless of economic class. So you can go and have a good time And you said free circus.
Yeah.
You're going to see the word free in a lot of things, or very low cost. And you can go as a family. I know organizations like the library. If you need some books, stop by the Kewanna Library. They do a great job over there providing activities for the community, but you can get some books on Friday and Saturday and during the festival, things like that. The one that's always fascinated me, of course, I come from a motorsports background. Sunday, there's lawn tractor pulls.
Yes, there is.
It's pretty fascinating to see if you've never seen
Yeah, those kind of things are amazing.
It is. So, but some really great, a wide range of activities. I know the Kewanna Fire Department is providing some activities on Saturday afternoon, so I don't know.
Some great things for the kids to do.
It looks, maybe we'll have some junior firefighters.
Or young kids at heart or whatever.
Yeah. Can I be a kid at heart?
Sure.
Some of those things that the kids get to do look pretty cool. So,
You know, if they had half of that when I was a kid, it'd be, you know, I'm kind of
Very
jealous
cool.
some days.
So just a shout out to all that are involved in putting on the Kewanna Fall Festival. A really great time, an example of what a community can do when we come together. And downtown Kewanna will be packed.
It will be busy.
Looks like it's going to be a nice weekend weather.
That's going to turn out to be
We
nice.
appreciate you arranging that. So.
Yeah, I'll see. No problem there.
So thank you to all the folks over the past couple of years. Of course, we haven't talked about this recently because we already met our matching opportunity through Lilly Endowment, but those funds that were given over the past few years with a couple of campaigns are what made grants like this possible. So thanks to all the donors that made those possible and provided the opportunity for us to be able to help support some pretty cool things in our community. So talking about cool things, have you heard of this group called the Women's Giving Circle of Fulton County?
There's been some things
I think
going
we
around.
mentioned that
before.
before.
I think there's been some things
So-
going around about a group of ladies.
Yeah, well, we have a group of ladies. If you haven't heard about this, the Women's Giving Circle of Fulton County was formed in 2011. It's a group of ladies that provide grants for projects in our community and also continue to grow an endowment fund. So we'll talk a little bit about both of those here in a minute, but Randy, unfortunately, we don't fit the demographic.
We don't fit them.
I am going to be there. I'm kind of
You somehow you get a little special pass there.
I make sure everything happens and have
You're
a lot
a
of great
tech-savvy
support
guy like
there.
you
So
are, I guess
I try.
That gets you that pass there.
But there's an event coming up next Tuesday, September 30th, 6 p.m. The Women's Giving Circle of Fulton County will be having their granting event. This year it's going to be held at the Mellow Mug Cafe. That's right in downtown Rochester, 712 Main Street here in Rochester. The point of this event will be to give grants out.
Yeah.
So what happens with this group is every year members make a $120 contribution for their membership dues, and what that gets them is the opportunity to vote for the grant recipients. So what we do with that is take half of that $120, so I'm not a math whiz, but I do know that half of 120 is $60.
They made it easy.
They made it easy. And use that for immediate grants. The other half of that 60 we put in an endowment fund. So what an endowment fund is a donor makes a gift, those gifts are invested, and then those earnings are what go back to support the project. So the neat thing about that is it's an ongoing process. And since 2011 we've been adding that $60 per member to that endowment fund, and it's grown. It's over $70,000 now.
That's awesome.
So you think about that endowment fund alone is now producing a little over $3,000 in grants. So the power of endowment, and that will happen every year.
Yeah.
Added to those members' donations. So if ladies are listening, they'd like to be a part of that group, it's not too late. We'd love to have you next Tuesday. Be a part of that. If you are a member and haven't paid your membership dues, get those in. You can even bring them the night of. You can do it online. If you are listening and you say, hey, I'd like to be a part of that group, it's not too late to join for this year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I didn't ask you to cue up a drum roll, but we do have some finalists that will be joining us for the event.
I can't wait to hear.
So we're giving out $10,000. The ladies have been able to support that. So we have 5 organizations being a part of this. The Rochester Summer Parks Program, one of them, doing a lot of great things, having a lot of great activities, been really active in the community. Another familiar organization, the Outlet Youth Center. They're working on building a new outdoor oasis area.
Oh, cool.
So that'll be exciting here in the near future. The Macy Food Pantry, providing a lot of support for folks in that southern part of our community that can really use that support. They are looking to purchase some food and hygiene items to provide for their clients. The Rochester Girls Softball League, playground equipment out at Blackadder. So if you've been out there, there's not a whole lot of playground equipment.
So if you're younger, sibling comes along,
I'll tell you, as a parent of 2 sons that usually didn't play at the same time baseball, some of my favorite places for us to play were places where there were playgrounds.
Yeah.
You could have the kids play on the playground that wasn't playing baseball, and so a great opportunity there. And then another organization, the Kewanna Hardery, over in Kewanna. If you're over at the Fall Festival, make sure you check out the Kewanna Hardery. It's on the east side of town, and they provide some gathering space for community events. They have some weekly gatherings. I heard the phrase Tai Chi and yoga, so if you're interested in that, check out the Hardery. But also have been providing gathering space for things like family reunions, or rumor has it they've had a few weddings there. But looking to add some kind of some kitchen furnishings, so it makes it easier for gatherings that have food. Because when you get people together, you have food.
Usually works out well.
Somewhere that's a requirement that you have food when you have those there. So, so we're looking forward to that on Tuesday. Great group of ladies that make these things possible. If you're a member and you have an RSVP, let us know. If you're not able to make the event, we actually do video grant applications. So there may be a possibility for you to vote if you know you're not going to be able to make it. We'd love to have everybody included in that. So I know the postcard that I have in front of me says September 22nd to RSVP, but we can still make it.
You can squeeze it in.
So if you have not responded and you need to, don't hesitate to RSVP. You can do that by email to Jillian at nicf.org, or give Jillian a call, 574-835-1939. Let us know if you're coming or not. And one of the questions we always get is, have I paid my dues for this year? So if you're not sure about that, don't hesitate to reach out to us with that question either. But it's really a great way. So part of what we talk about with the Community Foundation is that you don't have to be independently wealthy.
Right.
My $120, in this case my wife's $120, goes in with the other 60 or 70 members of this group. Those $120 get combined, and it makes it possible to build an endowment fund, and also to give out grants. Like this year we mentioned $10,000. That's not an insignificant amount. So we're gonna be celebrating going over $100,000 in grants with this group since formation, and that has grown over the year. So it's really exciting to see how those small contributions, which is the way a community foundation is really set up, so that you can combine both of our contributions and make a huge impact in the community. And we talk about the Women's Giving Circle being an example of our community funds. This year, our community funds supporting things like the Nickel Plate Music and Art Festival, and the Friday Night Live in downtown Akron, and the Kewanna Fall Festival, is able to grant over $250,000.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And that's just in Fulton County. So it's pretty cool when you look at that and you see all the neat things that we've been able to support through that. So again, an invitation, Women's Giving Circle of Fulton County. We'd love to have any ladies interested in joining us. The event will be next Tuesday, September 30th, 6 p.m. at the Mellow Mud Cafe. That's located at 712 Main Street here in Rochester. We'd love to see anybody that's a member. If you're not a member and you just want to see how the group works, you don't have to pay to get in. You do have to pay to vote, make the membership contribution. But if you just want to come and see and say, hey, is this an organization that I'm interested in being a part of? We'd love to have you. I will say ahead of time, congratulations to the finalists, because one of the neat things is we know all these finalists will be receiving financial support. And these are some really great projects that we can help support in the community. So we'd love to see any ladies interested in finding out more about the group be a part of that this year. So kind of going back over some of the things that we talked about. Again, newsletter if you want to get information about things like the Women's Giving Circle, when those applications are available, or when we have membership events. Sign up for our newsletter, End of Year Giving. Don't forget that.
Oh, yes.
I know it's only September, but it is September, so it's almost there.
We're reminding you again.
And then Child Care Coalition. If you see some information about that, asking for some information, we'd love to have feedback from the community and really provide some resources for employers, for families, and help take some of that burden off of families that may be dealing with finding providers, or even for providers, providing some resources there. So we'd love to have all the feedback we can get on that. So you can check out some of the things we talked about today. Website, nicf.org. I think I may have mentioned that before, but pretty simple on that. You can find us on Facebook, Northern Indiana Community Foundation. Give us a call, 574-224-3223, or stop by our office at 227 East 9th Street here in Rochester. We always love to hear ideas, questions. The Community Foundation is designed to help local folks support local ideas. So all these great things that I talked about are as a result of local people getting involved, whether it be their time, their talent, or their treasure. And so we just appreciate everybody in the community making Fulton County a pretty awesome place to be.
Brian, obviously, we talk a lot about these scholarships and different things going on. If someone's got a loved one that they want to honor, or they want to remember their legacy or something, it's easy to set up something.
It is. It's very easy to set up a fund. We have a lot of folks that have created funds in memory of a loved one. And a lot of times people walk in the door and say, what do I want to do with this? And my question is always, what were they passionate about? Right. So you see a lot of the funds. I mean, like we mentioned, the Kewanna Fall Festival Fund, or the Kewanna Fall Festival. We actually have a fund, and it's the Kewanna Fall Festival Fund in honor of Luke Mate. I mentioned the Mate family. If you've been to Kewanna, there's probably not a bigger fan of Kewanna and community supporters than the Mate family. Of course, unfortunately, we lost Tom a few years ago, but things like that, and really keep people's memory, whether it be a scholarship. We have so many scholarships, over 60 scholarships in Fulton County that remember someone special in a way that would be valuable to them. Or you think about the organization, some folks say, hey, I want to remember a loved one, or it's always amused me. We have a lot of anonymous fund founders that say, hey, I want to see this cause supported into the future. I don't want credit for it, but I want to see this going on. And there's not a wrong answer to that, but it's really neat. I've been able to learn about so many people in the community because of the funds that we have, and kind of get a glimpse of what was important to this person because of that. And you see that legacy going on, and we talk about endowment funds that goes out into the future. So it's really a great way if somebody is saying, hey, I want to remember somebody in a special way. Sometimes an endowment fund can be a really neat way to say, hey, this is a way that we're going to remember this person year after year, and for them to continue to have an impact. You think about our lifetime. How can I have an impact beyond my lifetime? Well, sometimes that that financial support for those organizations that that somebody's a part of can be a significant way to impact that. So
Just stop down to the office and
stop
ask,
down.
right?
Yeah, you know, that's usually the answer for everything, whether it's applying for a grant, applying for a scholarship, or in this case,
Yeah.
saying, hey, I may want to be able to support something in the future in memory of somebody special.
Brian, thanks for stopping in. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you again next month.
We'll look forward to it.
Brian Johnson from the Fulton County Community Foundation. That's going to do it for the Giant FM Morning Show. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. Be safe, be careful. We'll talk to you tomorrow.